Hey guys, welcome back to MD Cubing. I'm your host, MD Cuber. Today, we have a really exciting video that I think you guys will really like. It's a Moyu mega comparison of every single 3x3 that they've made that I think you should get. In this video, I'm going to be ranking them from order of, I think, the most, the best puzzle that you should purchase to the puzzles that I think maybe you shouldn't. This is all relevant 3x3s that you can still purchase on the market. And I know there's been a lot of confusion lately over, all these various amounts of releases. They've released a lot of puzzles, and, rightfully so. People can be anxious towards, what they want to buy. I've loved Moyu ever since they came out. My first main was a Moyu cube. It was the Weilong version 2. And they've been very consistent in their quality and their production. I really like them, as a brand. They're not without their flaws. But in this video, I would like to clarify all the cubes on the market and explain to you which cubes I think you should get. This video, I hope, it will pertain to some cubers. There are some cubers who don't like Moyu as a brand, so I completely understand. But to the ones who do and the ones who are interested, I hope you guys enjoy the video. So without further ado, let's begin.
Hey guys, before we begin the video, I just kind of wanted to quickly explain a question that I've been getting asked quite frequently. That way I don't have to keep on doing it. And in case anyone comments that I've already answered it. People ask, why do I have stickers on the green face? I have it with every single one of my main speed cubes and every single cube that I use, at least for the most part. To answer your question and to be very quick about it, I am colorblind. I'm red-green colorblind, which means without these stickers, I cannot differentiate these two colors. They look the exact same to me. It's not a grayscale colorblindness per se, but it is a type of colorblindness that impedes my ability to solve to my level. I hope I answered your question, and without further ado, let's begin.
Hey guys, very quickly as well, I forgot to show the Haumeng TG in this video. The reason why is because, like in my super comparison video, I explained that I do not think this cube is worth it at all. I really dislike that puzzle, and I didn't think of including it. Actually, I forgot because I don't like it, and I don't think you should buy it. I think it's overpriced, and just in general, I don't like this puzzle. This is just a video of me solving, just so I could explain really quickly. But yeah, without further ado, let's get on to the rest of the video.
These are all of the Moyu cubes that I own that I think I would like to share with you. I think they're the most relevant and the most important. However, I'm going to quickly go over which cubes I think you should get and which cubes I think immediately should be removed from this list. The first cube that I have that I think should be removed from the list is the Rs3m 2020. This cube is no longer valuable, and I think you can find a lot better cubes for the price. This is a special made boron treated Rs3m 2020 that I custom made, but that's still a point. This cube's performance is still kind of nice, but it's very outdated, and you can find a lot of better speed cubes. The Super Rs3m V2, when I got this cube, I bought it just because I wanted it, and after playing with it for a while, I kind of realized it sucked. Do not get this cube. I think there are a lot of other cubes that are better and way cheaper. The PyCube Shop modded Worm version 9 was a pretty good cube when it came out, but now I think you can get better versions of the Worm version 9, which I will go over in a couple minutes. But I think this cube is outdated, and I do not think it's a Moyu cube you should try to get anymore. Though it felt nice, I don't think it's worth it. Same thing, I don't think you should get the 8-magnet ballcore version of the Worm version 9. This cube is really fast. You have to dump a lot of lube into it, and I think there's better hardware that's cheaper. This is the Super version 1 of the Moyu Weilong. I think this cube was a fun cube upon release. I think it was really good, and a lot of people liked it. But being so expensive still and having other hardware options that I think are more stable and less cumbersome, I don't think you should get this cube. Though it was fun, it's too expensive, and there are better options. Now we can begin with the cubes that I think are worth it. The Super version 1 is the cube that I think is the least worth it in terms of Moyu cubes. I didn't even really main this puzzle, I just got it for collection purposes. I think it's a good cube, but there are inherent issues with it. For example, catching is a big issue, and I just don't like this cube as much. I think you can get better cubes. I think this is a good beginner cube and a cube, you can really abuse. It's a heavy puzzle, so you can definitely feel there's a lot of momentum in the turns, but I don't really like this cube, and I wouldn't really main it. Although you do you, I just think there are better, more newer hardware options, but this is a great cube for a beginner. The Moyu Haumeng Ys3m. I think these cubes are still worth it. This is the 20 magnet ballcore UV version, and this is the matte version. I think that, like I said, both these cubes are good. I showed this in my super comparison video, and I still recommend these. I still use these a lot. I'd consider them like a backup main, but I still tend to prefer them. I can bring them out in public, and cubing with them is a lot of fun. I just think they're on the lower end of the spectrum in terms of Moyu cubes that you should buy. I think they're better than the Super 2022 and better than the Rs3m V5 because, you know, it just fits my turning style. But they are showing their age, and I wouldn't main these over, for example, let's say like a version 9 or, you know, a GAN 15. But they are very good cubes, and I think you can get good times on them still. This is the Rs3m version 5 YoCube version. I really liked this cube when it came out. I thought it was really good. I mained it for a while, but I talked about this in the Super comparison video. It is showing its age. I think it's better than its predecessor, the Super 2022 and Super version 2, but I don't think it's as good as the Ys3m, and I think this is on the lower end of the spectrum in terms of cubes you should get from Moyu. This is the Moyu Worm version 9 20 magnet ball core with the spring mod. The springs inside this cube are from a Worm 2021. I know that cube has been discontinued, so if you know, I think the closest springs to it would be from, you know, either a Ys3m or a Worm, just, you know, I guess ball core version or non-maglev version. This cube feels really, really nice, and I think the springs definitely help slow it down to a point where you can use it. I've used this cube in competition and it hasn't really let me down because of its stability. I think this is one of the best Moyu cubes you can still buy, and I know a lot of people may disagree with me, but I think this is better than a lot of their new releases. I definitely prefer this cube. I rank it really high in terms of how much I like it. This is a Moyu Weilong version 10. When this cube came out, I was in love with it. I was so excited, and I still am really, you know, happy with this puzzle. I don't think it let me down that much. I think there are some flaws with this cube. I think it's, you know, too snappy. I think it's a little too tight. This is an old batch version, but I did get a new ball core, so I'm not sure if that makes it, you know, more flexible or what have you. This cube is really enjoyable, but I think there are better options from Moyu. You know, like I prefer the Worm version 9. This cube definitely feels like a GAN 12. I think it feels like a GAN 12. And, you know, that's definitely not a bad thing, but it really depends on what you like. If you like, you know, if you like GAN puzzles, I think you'll really enjoy this cube. If you like older iterations of Moyu cubes, I think you'll, you know, tend to prefer a version 9. These are my two Ferro cores. This is the Ferro core, or the ancient setup version of the Ferro core, and this is just a regular setup Ferro core by myself. I think both of these cubes are really, you know, enjoyable and nice to solve with. Overall, I think, you know, they are, you know, kind of expensive in terms of how much money you are paying for them. This is $50 and this is $40, but I think they are worth it. So it kind of just comes down to how you set up your puzzle, but at the same time, it really just depends on feel. I think I like these more than the version 10, but not more than the version 9. Last but not least are my two supers. This is a super with maglev, and this is a super with spring. The super with maglev right here is very fast, almost to a point where it's uncontrollable. I have had to take drastic measures to slow this cube down, and I do like it, but there are a lot of inherent issues with it that make it, I guess, kind of like distasteful. I think I prefer, you know, more controllable cubes. These cubes kind of feel like a loose, blocky mess. Which is kind of annoying because, you know, of how much money they cost. Don't get me wrong, the feeling is really nice if you just listen to the turning. I think if you have a light turning style, you'll enjoy this cube. But if, you know, you're too rough with your puzzles, it could be really contrapositive to how you solve and how, you know, how you perform. In total, based on personal preference, these are the lists that I would give it. The version 9, the Ferro core, the Super version 2, the regular version 10, the Haumeng Ys3m, the Rs3m version 5, and then the Super version 1. These are the Moyu cubes that I think you should buy in order of what I prefer. As an older cuber, I started cubing in 2015, so I think there's going to be an inherent preference in terms of what I like. In total, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you learned something from it, and I hope, you know, if anything, it helps you make a purchase decision in the future. I hope you guys take care. Bye-bye.